What's up, guys? This is JTQ9 and welcome back to the channel. This one, Alliance War number 4, season 34. Here we go. This one was an rather interesting war, I must say. I will say it's better. I didn't get 2 fights this war. I got many more than that, as you will see coming up. But these were all fights that I have never against champs in different places that I haven't necessarily taken before. So my first fight is fine. It's on Hazard Shift. I've dealt with that, and you guys will see that momentarily. But some of the other ones, there's some questionable nodes and some questionable, not strategies, because the strategies that kind of went into it were fine. And then some call it questionable execution of the strategies. And then on top of that, down the line, I had another incident with my buddy Bryce. Taking more fights from me. Unbelievable. When will this end? Just, you give a guy an inch, takes a mile, and all of a sudden, these shared fights that I was supposed to get, no, doesn't happen. Anyway, so on with the series. We'll go and talk about it as we kind of get to those fights. But here, starting off, we've got, I don't know if I mentioned, but we're against the Greek Elite GRE. So this one here is a must-win. First fight here, I've got Penny versus Longshot. Going in, I was extremely nervous, and then I dueled him probably 25 times and realized there was literally nothing to worry about. So I did a couple extra parries there just to get a little bit more power gain, so I could use my S1 at the same time he had his first S1 instead of having to bait out more specials, because every time you have to bait out more specials, it just leads to potential mistakes and stuff. Same thing here. I'm just doing a couple more parries just to gain some power and drain him a little bit. Get to my SP2 within, 37 seconds. And then just watch the incinerate damage take over, and the fight was done. Really upset I wasted that invulnerability boost, but just to be safe, you never know. What I did notice in the duels that, it was SP1, SP2, even if I did get hit, there was no incinerate damage, obviously, because Penny is immune. And it went down pretty easily. Now this next fight, I had to put suicides on, so rip 200 units. That was fun. That was good times. And considering I never run suicides, I had to solicit some help in terms of how to have my mastery setup. So thank you, Clown, Amanda, Bryce, DLL, and all those that kind of piped in to help with that, because I was slightly lost without them. So this next fight, tough. He hits into my block. I get a disoriented, damaging debuff. The strategy here is, as you can see, I have too much mass. I have to let him hit into me to get the Unstoppable. Fortunately, I didn't have the Frenzy yet, so I was able to shrug the first one. Did it again to get close to my SP2, and then try to nuke him with 2 back-to-back SP2s. But as you can see, I am losing a lot of health really quickly, and for whatever reason, I didn't trust the fact that had I just thrown the SP2 quickly again, that I would have been unblockable and would have just sliced through him. So I lost a little bit more health than I probably could there. Practiced that strategy a good amount, probably for about an hour or half an hour, just to make sure that I could get everything done properly, because I was super nervous about that fight, and just there's so many things that could have gone wrong at that point. So anyways, happy to get him down, and we move on to the next one. So we got Kingpin here with on Spite. So the strategy here for me was, again, I say we have a strategy, but I'm not sure that it actually went to strategy, was to basically bait out the heavies, to not put any buff on myself, so he would gain Spite, like there, which allows him to power gain, and then pushing him too far, I think, close to his SP2. So yeah, so I throw the SP1 to power drain him. My goal is to get to obviously the SP3. I can't let him get to the SP3, because if I tank it, I'm basically going to die at that point. So I'm just taking block damage to get myself to an SP3, because I didn't want to risk any kind of openings at that point. Get kind of the Doom cycle going. And then, as you can see, still at the SP2. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll throw the SP2 and see if I can kill him. Nope, that didn't work. So now at this point, I've got the buff up. He's got he had the 3 bars of power. Fortunately, I was holding block, so he just rushed into me. And then I was able to kind of counter to to get an SP1 off to either drain a bit and then end the fight. So yeah, a little nerve-wracking there because who knows what would happen had he actually thrown the SP3. So that's where it kind of got dicey for the first time. And then in this fight, I believe a similar situation happened where I got to, or I let Domino get to an SP3 as well. And I think I lucked out. But anyway, in this one here, it's a typical penny fight in the sense that you want to throw the SP1 as she's going over a bar of power or over 2 bars of power. But because of the lucky factor, I try to play it more safe. And that I was hoping that the power drain would have been enough to push her back under 2 bars of power. It didn't. So obviously I didn't get the maximum amount of Spidey charges, which is why I also believe I ended up throwing another SP1 because it's 7 Spidey charges. The incinerate damage isn't very much. And I wanted to make sure that when I did eventually get to the SP2 that I was able to throw it off. But as you can see, every time I'd push over a bar of power, she was gaining lucky, and it just, I don't want to risk throwing a special into that if she evades me and counters, and then I'm smoked at that point. So here I push her dangerously close to the SP3, hoping that she launches it eventually. Unfortunately, I'm kind of cornered here. And I actually forget what oh no, yeah, she did end up getting the SP3. And I was like, just don't throw it, hold the block, make her hit into it, and then finally able to throw my SP2 and end the fight. So that's where getting cornered with the opponent having an SP3, 3 bars of power, is kind of nerve-wracking when you're sitting there. I mean, I turned to Coagulate on just to make sure that if I did take a bleed, that hopefully wouldn't bleed me out. Willpower is pretty strong too, but yeah, anyway, so I got out of those 2 fights after seeing red on both opponents, and that's not ever recommended. Unless you just want to see what kind of damage you do. Some people are sick like that. But, in a war, tier 1, you kind of don't want to mess around. So this Doom fight, I was supposed to have a Wags pre-fight on it. Unfortunately, because of timing, I didn't end up taking it. I elected to use an APB, and this one, I was nervous for this fight. So every time you use a back-to-back... Oh, wow, that was a horrible attempt at an SP1. Every time you do a back-to-back basic attack, he gains a prowess and a block penetration for an extended period of time. I think it's 5 seconds for the block penetration and a little bit longer for that. So had I... Like, a lot of my combos, I'm doing medium, light, medium, or light, medium, and then dexing. Like, at this point, when that blue bar is up, that's the block penetration. So if I would have taken an SP2 there, I would have done some serious damage. So at that point, I was trying to build to an SP3. He's got the prowess there. So, okay, the block penetration drops off. I'm trying to get him close to an SP2, make sure his aura is off, throw the SP3, and try to start a Doom cycle. In hindsight, the play here would have been to use a 200 power boost back instead of the 150 I was using, only because to do the Doom cycle, because Conflictor's on this node as well, as you'll see when I end up throwing after this one. So I wanted to get the 2 Furies up, and the safest thing would have been to just keep spamming the SP3. So here I decided to throw an SP2, see if it would kill him. But because Conflictor was up and I hadn't triggered it, he went to an SP3, and now that's 3 red bars and 3 fights that I was seeing. So here we go. I'm stunned. Fortunately there, Doom's a tank, and I didn't take massive damage. I mean, I took enough damage, but he didn't kill me. And then I was just kind of letting the Incinerates do the rest. I landed kind of a last-minute combo to end the fight. So I was really, really nervous about that, because obviously having the Wags pre-fight, I wouldn't have to worry necessarily about the Conflictor because he wouldn't shrug the debuff, and just really happy to get that one down. So so that was my war this time. So I was happy I got 5 wars mini, and was supposed to have the 6th one, but like I said, Bryce, real piece of work, is no, I'm just kidding. He's a good guy. He felt horrible. He's all nervous that I'm going to hate him because he keeps wanting to take fights, but it's all good. Like I said, whatever is important for the battle group is what I care about, and if he had the best option, I think he used Hood to Fate Seal the Hyperion, then so be it. It's the best option for sure. So as you just saw, our battle group had won 2 against 6, which is good, and we ended up winning the war. despite an unfortunate thing that one of our guys forgot to place a champ. So we were very fortunate, because when you start off behind in master tier level, sometimes you can get in a lot of trouble. And this time, unfortunately, it didn't cost us, and now that moves us to 2-2 on the season. So we're right in the thick of Masters, which is good, in a good spot. Obviously, let's see if we can continue this winning streak going. And really appreciate you guys tuning in. I know I don't get necessarily a lot of viewers. And for those of you that kind of stick around and actually watch the videos, or at least make it all the way through to the end, I do truly appreciate it. If you want, let me know what you guys think. If you want to see other content, or if you just like my war videos, or anything else. I mean, I like making the videos. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll have more time to do other videos, to be honest. But if there's other things like the Summer of Pain stuff, or the anything else. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll be happy to respond. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again. Take care.